Hi everyone, I'm Alison from nichelifesuccess.com, and today I'm going to be bringing you a training on how to find easy win keywords that can actually get you traffic. Now you can use these keywords obviously in your blog posts, you can even use them for Medium, and obviously keywords are becoming more important on socials as well now, with things like Instagram being crawled by Google. I'm not going to come so much from that angle, but if you have the understanding of keywords, you can always remember to include them in your sort of social media captions, etc. Today I'm going to focus very much on blogging, but remember it's very similar for Medium as well. So I might do one on Medium specifically later on, like how to update your meta description and things like that. But don't worry about that as we get started. First of all, we're going to have 4 videos in this mini training. So the first one is on finding keywords. The second one is on using the rank tracking within Keysearch. The next one is competitor analysis. And the last one is using keywords. Now, while I am going to be using Keysearch for this because I believe it's the best and lowest cost tool, you can use any of the tools. So obviously it'll be a slightly little bit different, but the overall thing of what you're looking for in terms of volume and competition is going to be very similar. I use Keysearch because it's low cost. You've got a 7-day free trial, so you could even go into this, use up, find as many keywords as you want to, and then you can cancel at any time. So you could cancel it before the 7 days and then just use the keywords that you found. Obviously for me, because I'm blogging, and if you're blogging too, I think you will find that this is a really good tool. It is very low cost, and so yeah, that's why I'm using it and that's why I'm showing it to you. But don't be put off by this. A lot of the things that apply, you can still use in other tools. And also, when I'm showing you the keywords in the last video, where to use them on your blog, that can be super helpful too. Okay, so let's dive in. And first of all, we are going to be finding some keywords. So I'm just going to log in there. So I'm going to show you just 3 different niches basically, because it's nice to give a bit of variety, but also obviously you can use whatever you want to in here. So the first one we're going to look up is gluten-free chocolate. Okay, so I always go for the US because I do want my keywords to rank in the US on my blogs. If you specifically wanted to use them in a certain country, most countries are here, so you can just scroll down. It could be like you want to optimize it for UK, France, anywhere that you want to really. There's the UK there, but I'm leaving it on United States. And what I'm looking for is related keywords because I'm putting this base in and I'm looking for ideas of what to write about that is not too competitive. So that's why you come in for a basic one, a sort of a broader keyword, and then you're going to find longer tail keywords. So if you've not heard that phrase before, long tail keywords, basically a longer tail keyword is something that has usually 3 or more, it can be 2, but they're often more difficult to rank for 3 or more words in it because that brings the competition down, makes it easier for you to show up on the first page of Google. That will probably become more apparent as we work through this mini course. So for example, you can see something like gluten-free chocolate, that might be quite competitive, but this will give us some ideas of some other blog posts that we can create. So we write in our sort of key thing, and this could be anything, and you'll see as I go through the examples, different ideas for different types of blogs. So we hit search. And over here on the right hand side, you can see, so gluten-free chocolate, that has got, this is the monthly. So the only 2 things that we're worried about is the volume and the score. Cost per click and I think it's price per click is for advertising. I do not worry about either of those. All I'm doing not doing any advertising. I'm just writing blog posts that I would like to show up on Google. Now that does say that's green, so potentially you could go after that, but I always like to find much lower competition keywords. So what I do now is I hit this button on the score at the top. First of all, it goes to most competitive, and then I hit it again, and it will give you your least competitive. So what you're looking for is blue or green. If you've got a blog that is very well established, you've already got a lot of traffic coming to it, you've already got a lot of domain authority, meaning Google recognizes, likes your site, and is happy to send you traffic, then obviously you can go for the amber and the red. However, for most of us, we're at the earlier stages of our blogging career, and so we want to look for things that are much easier to rank for. So there's some quite good things here I can see immediately. So for example, if you had a recipe site, gluten-free double chocolate chip cookies. Now the volume are 320 people are searching for that per month, and the score is only 18. Sometimes the score is over 30 days, so it can be worth doing a double check. Yes, it is a little bit more competitive, but still it's in the green, so I would still go after that one. You could have a look down. Obviously, some of these things are going to be questions. So, for example, you could answer the questions in your blog post. You know, is Cadbury gluten-free chocolate? You could answer that if you wanted to, and you might give like different options. Or another one, if you're doing recipes, gluten-free chocolate pretzels. Again, if we click on that, you might find it's a bit more competitive because some time has passed. But let's have a look. Nope, still 19. So that would be another good one to go after. So let's say I wanted to go after this one, gluten-free double chocolate chip cookies. We'll note that down for later. Now, with the volume, yes, it's great that there's 320 people looking for this one. However, sometimes I go after keywords that actually say they're zero. And the reason, particularly if they're very, very low competition, the reason for that is sometimes these keyword tools they're not 100% accurate, and there still could be people looking. Also, some things are very seasonal, but they take an average. So, for example, you know, for most of the year, it could be that there's no one looking, and then you'll get a big spike in the pre-Christmas. So obviously some volume is great, but if there's a keyword I really want to go after, very low competition, I will still go after it. And you will, and I've got traffic that way. I've gone after keywords that are zero. It looks like no one's looking, and they turn out to be some of the best ones I've done in terms of people finding me. Also, what you've got to remember is that when you're putting these keyword phrases in, so for example, this one, gluten-free double chocolate chip cookies, yes, you will get the people that are actually searching for that whole key phrase, but you might also start showing up for double chocolate chip cookie recipes or gluten-free double chocolate. Do you know what I mean? You're having a range of people finding you. So that's why I do go after those zero ones. Let's just look at a couple more. So we're going to do Halloween crafts. Hopefully you've got an idea now of what I'm searching for. So I put in the base, I click on score, click on it again, and I will then see what's showing up. And if I had a crafting site, I wanted to do one that was seasonal. Obviously, this could be anything, Easter crafts, Christmas crafts. It could even be a little bit more detailed. It could be Halloween crafts for toddlers, for example. But if you're going for more of a wider base, then you can see what's showing up. Halloween crafts for seniors, that would be a good one to go after. Halloween crafts with toilet paper rolls. You know, have a look down. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit more higher competition, but even in green, you've got things like mummy crafts for Halloween, Halloween crafts for infants. If your site is very, very new, what I would always suggest is try and find some keywords in the blue or the very light green, because that way you are giving yourself the best chance for showing up. So that's how you'd find some ones for those. And we'll just do one more in a different niche: bed for large dogs. So if you're in the pet niche, search for this one. Just, it does take a few seconds to search sometimes. Hit the score button, score again, and then I would see what's coming up. Now, this could be totally unrelated, but you can sometimes find other keywords that aren't what you've put in, bed for large dogs, but they turn out to be really good keywords. So here you've got dog backpack for large dogs. Now, if I've got a pet niche, I'm going to write about that because the volume is very high and the score is very low. So I would then take that as my keyword and I would write about it. And we'll perhaps use that one actually when we're coming on to show you how to where to place these. So dog backpack for large dogs. Then also you can see here tug toys. It hasn't come up with a lot of bedding ones on this one. So dog ramp for large dogs. It's gone more on the large dogs. So sometimes I will change this slightly and I will put best bed for large dogs. See what comes up there. Sometimes you do have to tweak. You're not always going to find the perfect keyword. So maybe you try a different base or you go off in a slightly different direction. It's trial and error sometimes. So I actually love this process because it's like a bit of detective work and you're finding keywords that are gonna be good for you to rank for. And again, it hasn't gone very well in terms of beds here. Not quite sure why. Hasn't come up with a lot of beds. But it did give us that good keyword. So let's try, I think it could be because it should be dog bed. What about if we do dog bed for large breeds? See what comes up that way. And as I say, that's why you do have to, yeah, that's come up a little bit closer there. It's also quite a competitive keyword, and that's why we're having to. Again, giant dog beds, Great Danes. That could be a good one to go after. Dog bed for large breeds. The actual keyword is there, is the 35. That would probably be worth going after. The others go into something quite competitive. So again, I wanted to show you one where it's not perfect the first time. You might have to tweak it a bit. We are going to go on to some other things on this, but if you've got questions, particularly on maybe you're struggling, maybe you try out Keysearch, you're not quite sure what you should use as your base keyword for your niche, and you're struggling for ideas, then do ask me questions below here and I can come back to you with some more ideas, point you in the right direction. So that's it for the first one, and in the next one we'll be looking at rank tracking.